So good afternoon, Mabel. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Stanley.
Hey, thank you so much for taking time this afternoon for this coaching conversation. And as agreed, I'd like to ask you for permission to be able to share this video online to bring more awareness to what coaching is.
Yes, permission granted.
Thank you, Mabel. And during the session, I may be looking down to take some notes, but rest assured, even though I'm taking notes, I'm fully listening to you, fully present. And at the end of the session, I'll destroy all those notes.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, so before we start, would you like to take some time, take a few deep breaths, settle yourself, and let me know once you're ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, Maple, what would you like to talk about today that is of importance to you?
Actually, I am a twice cancer survivor, so I like to talk a little bit of my experience. And then I have been actually helping some people who are undergoing cancer treatment or any other kind of terminal illness. So I just want to share my story.
Sure.
Yeah. So I go ahead and share.
Yeah,
Okay, so in 2013, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, early stage. So I went through double mastectomy and I went through chemotherapy and I recovered, but I was on hormone therapy for 5 years and almost into 4.5 years of hormone therapy. Actually, I had some complications in uterus, in that sense that I was bleeding, and also I had some bleeding in the stool. So went for tests, and then the doctors actually diagnosed me for having colon cancer, and then advised me to go through surgery. So in 2017, I had the surgery to remove 7 cm of the colon, and it was early stage, so there was no need for me to go through chemotherapy. And they actually suspected there was cancer also in the uterus, but eventually further tests showed that uterus was clear. Then last year, 2023, in April, the doctors actually also told me that I could be having early signs of cancer in the uterus. Is called precancer cells. So they advised me to go through a simple surgery to clean up the uterus. But eventually, they actually advised me to have a hysterectomy, and went through the hysterectomy. And the miracle is that the anesthetist actually told me that from the OT camera, they found that there was no tumor at all. And inside me was really pristine, the word she used. But the doctors actually had anticipated a very difficult surgery. So they had standby a few specialists. And in fact, some of the student doctors were also watching, trying to learn something. But in the end, this anesthetist said, oh, it turned out to be a very boring normal surgery, but it was good for me, because there wasn't complication. Yeah, so this is what happened. Yeah, and now I'm back to normal life. I'm good. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Maple. May I have your permission to reflect back what I hear?
Yes.
So I hear some things. One, you are a 2 times cancer survivor. 2, you have been helping people who are going through cancer or terminal illness.
Yes.
3, in 2013, you was diagnosed with early stage breast cancer. You went through therapy, recovered. There were some complications. 4, during some testing, you were diagnosed with colon cancer.
Mm.
And in 2017, you removed 7 cm of it and you recovered. And 52023, you mentioned doctors had some early signs of pre-cancer cell in uterus, which they wanted to do some surgery itself. And end up everything was okay. You had just a normal surgery, and yeah, now you're back to normal life. How does that sound?
Exactly, correct.
So I want to acknowledge you for being a cancer survivor and also wanting to help more people who are also going through cancer as well as other illness itself. So I just want to acknowledge you for that. It speaks a lot about you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maple. So in today's conversation, what would you like to focus on that is significant to you?
Actually, with the experiences that I went through, it was often sometimes like fearful. It's like when will something else crop up, or how long do I have to go through, especially in the time when I was going through chemotherapy. It was difficult. A lot of discouragement, sometimes even go through small spurts of depression. But most of the time, because of my Christian faith, I was able to turn my fears to God. I was able to talk to God. I was able to draw strength from God. And I was able to get the hope, of full recovery. So although there were times, like I said, this, the different types of cancer that came and attacked my body, but I had the full assurance that my God has been with me, and with the faith, I was able to hold on. I was able to live life as normally as possible, and even to, in a way, share with my family members that, I could be down, but I would actually bounce back. And they actually saw me bouncing back. My friends, my church friends, they were able to see, that I was able to bounce back and live with, more strength. But I know that this strength actually comes from God. So when I meet with other patients, I am able to share with them my faith. I'm able to pray with them and share some thoughts about how, to renew their thoughts so that they will not be constantly in deep kind of depression, to think about how painful, how sad, how hopeless. So these are what I have experienced in the past. Yeah, so I would like to be able to share with people, to journey with people who have this all the valley experiences, and then to bring them through a healing stream. Yeah.
And how would you know you have achieved an outcome at the end of this session?
Okay, so our outcome would be that I would be able to come into a conclusion of where I can find more people whom I can help, or how do I share my experiences with a wider audience. and how people are ready to hear from me and to receive, you know, the I would call it prayer therapy. Yeah.
Mm. And earlier you mentioned your focus is to be able to share with people who have this value experience to bring them through the healing process. What makes sharing important to you?
Okay. So people who are going through cancer, they would actually be under treatment, they would be seeing specialists. So that is the medical intervention, which is very important. And then I feel that they would also need moral support, and they would need a listening ear. Often the people whom I've met, they actually face a lot of fears, and like as if like whether they would be able to survive the whole process, even if they're going through the chemotherapy. There's a lot of discomfort, a lot of pain, and sometimes they actually need someone to talk to, someone to strengthen them in their faith, to strengthen them in this journey. And I think through my own experience, it's not just the medical treatment, but you know, I feel that whatever strength, inner strength that you have, will give you the determination actually to fight, and how to stay positive, how to stay happy, and happy emotions are very important. Yeah.
Thank you. And you mentioned to bring them through a healing stream. What do you mean by bringing them through?
Okay, so would be like a process where they can actually meet me in person or over Zoom, and I will be hearing them out. And then if they're open for prayer, I would pray with them. But if they are not open for prayer, then probably I can share a few points about how they can continue to live their life positively, you know, to be able to cope with the stress, with the stress, you know, and the trauma from the treatment, the pain. Even some of them may have some kind of loss, like loss of appetite, loss of sleep, even they lose hope. So I hope to be able to encourage them, you know, to be able to share some thoughts with them, to be able to encourage them, give them some handles, how to overcome the sleeplessness, even loss of appetite. Yeah.
I'll commend you for being very clear on how you want to share and how you want to bring them through. And you mentioned the outcome is to know where to find more people you can help. And when you say where to find, what has to happen for you to know this where?
Which means that probably I would have to go on some social media platform, something which I have to learn because at my age, I think it takes a little bit more time, you know, to pick up the steps on how to start an account, maybe like social media, Instagram. So like somebody was saying, oh, TikTok, but I don't even have a TikTok account. I don't know what to do. Yeah. And I think I'm not sure what is it that I can share and what is it that I can't share. But one thing was yesterday happened to be my birthday. And so yeah, my ex-classmates, they were actually sending me birthday greetings. And then I actually shared a very short text about what happened to me, in the past 3 decades. And I said, in fact, I almost lost my life at age 33 even, but that was a separate illness, not cancer. So one of them actually responded and he said, I would be glad to host a lunch for all our ex-classmates, for you to come. Can I invite you to come and share experience so that you can encourage, our classmates? And I said, sure, I'll do that. So that can be a possible way, that I can have an invitation for an audience where I can share my experience as well. Yeah.
That's amazing. And when you say find more people, what do you mean by more?
So currently what I have is usually a few raffles from friends, and sometimes these people come through the church, but I am also keen to help people who are not church going, someone who doesn't even have a faith in any kind of God or religion. So I'm just thinking that this a person like this can take baby steps even to learn to have some kind of moral strength and to have the mindset of the fact that he or she can get better, when he has more positive emotions, to have good emotions, to have hope. Yeah.
What's currently hindering you from knowing where to find more people?
Like I said, having to start social media accounts. And I think basically I am quite a private person, so it's difficult for me to uh, make my story known. So it's just within a circle of friends, within, like I said, I make it known to my classmates, my ex-classmates, and they are all my age, in their 60s. We have actually passed middle 60s already. And it's just friends, so it's difficult for me to break out of this friends circle, to feel comfortable about it, to feel like putting myself out there, and
Sorry, I think your Wi-Fi got frozen, or my side got frozen for a while.
yes.
Yeah, so the last thing you say is difficult for you to put yourself out there.
Yeah, to have publicity, to have my story told, of course, like the people who suggest I can write a book, of course, for print wise, then there is no dialogue, I think personal touch, the dialogue is very important.
You also mentioned the word comfortable. So what's causing you to feel uncomfortable?
Like I said, putting myself out there and people knowing me, and it's like a public domain. So I am very conservative person, private person. So whatever that I have gone through, I am willing to share with friends, share with people who have been referred by friends, but to make my story known in public, it's a little bit uncomfortable for me.
So earlier you mentioned that you want to find more people, and you mentioned in order for you to know where you need to start social media and learn it to be able to reach a wider audience. And now you also mentioned that you're also a conservative person. So, and it's something that you are not comfortable with in terms of sharing out. So I'm just curious, how are these two related?
I think they're in opposition.
Yeah.
So an intelligent mind would tell me, just go ahead, and just tell your story. And there's nothing to lose.
Mm.
Yeah.
And how would that make you feel?
How would that make me feel? I am not too sure because there might be a huge response that I myself cannot cope with, and I'm just thinking about, then how would I select, or is it wrong then for me to select who I would talk to, if there was such a huge response and I cannot cope with.
Mm. So we are thinking ahead here. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Because like Stanley, just to share that I'm not just seeing people who have cancer, but I also meet up with people who have different kinds of life issues. So for the moment, it's like my schedule is just given to this different kinds of people, different walks of life. And to me, it's like I feel it's already filling up my timetable. So I want to help more, but it's at the same time, how am I going to fit in so many people? Yeah.
so what has to happen for you to know this how?
So I have to prioritize. Yeah.
How would that look like?
That means that less of my free time to do my own thing. Yeah.
And how would you feel about that?
So I think I will have to ask myself, how many times a week that I can set aside to just do this coaching specifically for cancer sufferers, people who suffer terminal illness, and then to be able to also set aside time to see other people who have other life issues. Yeah. So it's like being very clear in my mind how many hours I can set aside for each category.
What resources or support do you need to be able to be clear?
Not sure for now. Yeah, because my work now, I do have a volunteer who does the administration for me to put in the schedule. Yeah, but you know, if I were to increase the load, then it may not be good to text this person because she's just a volunteer. Yeah.
Understood. Yep. So at this point of time, Maple, I just want to check in with you. How is this conversation moving towards the outcome, which is where to find more people you can help?
Mm. So I think through this conversation, the learning point would be to get onto social media platforms. So I have to make a choice as to which one would be effective and which one that has probably less encroachment on my privacy. Mm.
Okay. And what resources or support do you need to help you in terms of going through or identifying the social media platform?
Probably I will talk to a few younger friends. When I say younger, meaning people who are young and that they have already been active in the different platforms, get their opinions and ask them for help.
And by when will you do this?
When will I do? Oh, okay. uh, mm, Probably next month. I will start in the month of May. Yeah.
Who can keep you accountable?
Mm, this young volunteer who is my administrator now. Yeah.
Hmm. So would you be able to summarize some of your learnings for today's conversation?
Mm, so it will be to find out more about which social media platform I should share my story. Not just share my story, but also to make myself available that I will be able to coach, people who need help. And then my young administrator will be the one whom I will talk to, and I'm accountable to her to begin in the month of May. Mm.
Hmm. I just want to go back in front where you mentioned that you are quite a conservative person in terms of your private life. And now that if you have to, now your action is to find a social media and share your story out. And you also mentioned that you have nothing to lose, so you could help more people and reach a bigger audience. So I'm just curious, from conservative to wanting to share your story out on social media, what shifted?
What shifted, huh? Uh, I think it's more like a passion that comes out from my life journey, and being there to help people, to be able to walk through them. Because if I don't, then I am not, it's like I'll be keeping the story to myself, and I'm not fulfilling my life goal, because I haven't shared this with you. I felt like my life goal is I'm fashioned to do God's will. So I just feel that if I were to take a step out and be bold, and then to be able to uh, get my story out and then to be able to help people, it's like I will be walking in God's will. Mm.
And what would that mean for you?
That will be a fulfillment. Yeah. I would just say that it's a fulfillment for self and also to see lives changed.
That's good. Thank you so much for sharing, Maple.
Welcome.
How will you celebrate once you've achieved all this?
I think celebration will come only when I start this social media account and I share my story. And if, let's say, I have 5 people who reach out and I can walk with these 5 people, maybe for, say, a period of half a year, then I would say that I can celebrate. Yeah.
That's great. So is there anything else you'd like to say about this topic before we close the session?
I don't think so. Not for now.
Yep. Thank you so much for your time, April. Would this now be a good time to close the session?
Yes, Stanley, thank you very much. I appreciate for giving time.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I see you again. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.